Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about, of course, it's going to be Nintendo. What else would it be on this fucking channel? But yeah, we're going to talk about what Reggie said with the whole, it's not about hardware, it's about the games and stuff like that. Now, I agree with this point. I absolutely agree with the point that the games are more important than how they necessarily look. I mean, yeah, they have to look decent, and that's something I'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I agree with him on that particular point that it's about the games. It will always be about the games. Gaming is about the games, the console and everything. It's about the fucking games. That's why you are a gamer, for the fucking games. Otherwise, there would be no reason for you to be a gamer if there weren't any games out there. So yes, it is about the games. But Nintendo, one thing you have to realize is that when you're a generation behind of everyone else, and I know that you're not necessarily a competitor with these guys, but when you're in this industry, if you are a generation behind anyone else, regardless whether or not they're a direct competitor or not, or whether or not they're a direct competitor, you're fucked, because no one's going to be interested in your console if you are that far behind everyone else. Even if you aren't a competitor at all, which you are somewhat at least. It's sort of like, why don't you realize this, Nintendo? That's one thing that you need to get through your thick fucking skull. You need to realize that having a massively underpowered console is going to get you nowhere in the modern gaming industry. And I know that you've said that it's always about games being more, it's not about the console being more powerful and everything, but let's talk history. The NES was the most powerful console of its generation because it was basically the only console of its generation. Yeah, there's the Sega Master System, but I do believe the NES was more powerful. Granted, I think the Master System had a wider color palette, but I'm not entirely sure on that. But anyways, fast forward to the Super Nintendo, which was the most powerful console of its generation. It was more powerful than the Sega Genesis by far because there was a massive time gap there. And that's actually something time gap thing is something we're going to come to a little bit later. You have the Nintendo 64, which, believe it or not, was more powerful than the PlayStation 1. But the problem with the N64 was the cartridge-based system, because Nintendo didn't want to have anything to do with CDs after what happened with Sony, and because you know how the PlayStation came to be. The PlayStation came to be because of a deal between Sony and Nintendo. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to make a CD thing for the Super Nintendo. That obviously didn't happen, and they pissed off Sony by going with a competitor. I believe it was Philips and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it caused a bunch of fucking problems. And so basically Nintendo said, fuck it, we're going to do cartridges. I don't even want to look at CDs anymore. And so they pissed off developers with the whole cartridge-based format. Games on the N64 could have looked a hell of a lot better than they did if they would have used CDs, but whatever. Yeah, that was more powerful than the PlayStation 1. So there you go. So in the past, and I know business models can change over time, and they seem to have done this, but and Reggie, when he was interviewed by Forbes, he said that yeah, it's about it wasn't about graphics when the Wii came out, because that sold 100 million units, and it wasn't about graphics. It was really far behind. It had like GameCube stuff in it basically. Yeah, but you know why that sold so well? Because it was a gimmick and it appealed to casuals. It did not appeal to gamers. It appealed pretty much entirely to casuals. And casuals are most people on the planet. So, of course it's going to appeal to those people. And of course it's going to sell that much, because you're appealing to people, to a wider audience. And that wider audience is going to be like, oh, cool, you can wave your fucking hand around and it moves on the TV. Radical, tubular, fucking... great. And then they go out and buy it, they play it for a couple of minutes, and then they get sick of it and they leave it on their shelf, and it sits there and collects dust for like 20 fucking years. Name one family's house that you've walked into and not seen a Wii sitting on the shelf in the living room collecting dust. Name one fucking household where you don't see that. I can't. I literally fucking can't. So they're everywhere, but they're fucking dust collectors. Yes, they sold a lot, but what does that mean if they don't have any longevity? Meet where the Wii U is. The Wii U released, it had it actually had a pretty fucking terrible start from what I remember. It didn't sell very well at all. It had a pretty bad start because gamers didn't trust you from the Wii anymore. And now it's just sort of fucking dead. And it died really fucking quick because the third-party support was not there. So Nintendo, In order for you to attract said third-party support, you know what you need? You need cutting-edge graphics, or at least good graphic systems. You don't need Project fucking Scorpio graphics. You don't need a GTX 1070 or 1080 in there. You just need something that can compete with the Xbox One, Project Scorpio, whatever the fuck it's gonna be, the PS4, the PS4 Neo, whatever that's gonna fucking be. You need a system that can compete well enough so that third-party developers don't have to downgrade games to shit, which they are not going to do anyways. If if you are going to attract enough people to your console, you have to make sure that that console has everything. So the third-party games, your awesome first-party games, and everything the fuck else, like apps like Netflix and everything, so you attract everybody, including casuals and including gamers. You get everybody. And I've said this 1.5 billion times, and I've just said it the fuck again. So yeah, Nintendo, it is about graphics sometimes. Like, you need to have a competent system. It's 2016, Nintendo. Get with the fucking times. Pull your head out of your ass, and let's fucking go. Now, we don't know if NX is massively underpowered, but with the statement that Reggie made at E3 this year, it's not about how powerful it is, it's about the games, which is true. That's still not very valid. Yes, for the game side of things, it's valid, but for marketing, it's not. It's absolutely not. You need to make sure that you have a console that can have good third-party support so that it will sell well, because by making an underpowered console, you are not going to ever see the success that the Wii saw. You are not. And that does not take someone who, went to school for marketing to figure out. You're just not gonna do it. You are not going to manage to sell 100 million units by releasing an underpowered console in 2016. It does not work that way. You need to realize this. It is not a hard thing to realize. You just need to fucking, I need to take a fucking hammer and just bam, right on your fucking thick skull, just slam it into you because you just don't want to listen. And I agree with the fact that it's about the games, but when you don't have enough games on your platform from third-party developers, people are not going to buy your console because they're going to buy the one that has the third-party support. They're going to be like, yeah, this has all the great Nintendo games, but it doesn't have all the other AAA titles that I want. So they're going to go buy an Xbox One. They're going to go buy a PS4. They're going to go get parts for a PC to build a PC. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to go to you because most people just want to buy one console, not 70 billion. I am the kind of person that would buy multiple consoles, but that's not most people. That's not most gamers. They want to buy one and they want to have it as their all-in-one platform. And Nintendo, you had the opportunity to make that the NX, but from what I'm seeing here, you already fucked up. And I don't know how much time you've got left in the gaming industry until you are just done. Because your handhelds aren't going to carry you through eternity. The 3DS is not going to carry you through eternity. It's going to fall, and you're going to have to come out with a new product that is better than the others. And I know Nintendo... And let me offer a little counter-argument to myself, yeah? I know Nintendo is sort of trying a different business tactic in this time, and I hope that it works. I hope that this different business, this different approach works for Nintendo this time around. Because if it does, that'd be great. Hopefully they can still release good-ass games and get third-party support. But if they can't, they're fucked. Yes, they're trying a different approach. Yes, it may work. But how much longevity will that have for the NX? How long will the NX last with this business model in mind? How long do you think that's going to work? I don't think it's going to work very long. Yes, it might be okay, right? It might have a good launch. Like, some third-party developers seem to be showing some interest in the NX, which is good. But what if it's not powerful enough for those third-party developers? What if they have to downscale games like a motherfucker to get them to work? Again, we don't know if this is the case, but again, it all goes back to what Reggie has said in past interviews. So I'm not really sure what to say at this point. Nintendo, I have a feeling you're fucking up royally, and I have a feeling that the NX is basically just going to be your Dreamcast. I've already said that the Wii U is the Nintendo's Dreamcast, but the NX looks even more like that. Because it might come out with, and if it comes out with a really kick-ass launch and sells a shit ton of units at launch, then it basically will be the Dreamcast. Because the Dreamcast came out guns motherfucking blazing. It had 1.5 billion awesome fucking games right at launch, ready for you to play. And that might be the case with NX, but you know what happened to Dreamcast? It died fucking fast because it ran out of fucking money, and I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with NX. Granted, Nintendo has a lot more money now than Sega did back then, but they fuck up this time, they won't have another shot, and that's just the fact. That's how it is. I have a feeling that NX is Nintendo's Dreamcast, and that's really fucking sad to say and hear, because I don't want Nintendo's consoles to end. I really don't. So yeah, I mean, Nintendo, you just need to get your shit together. You need to listen to what your consumers are saying, specifically the gamers, because those are the ones that matter. You just need to stop being an idiot. That's all we want. You just stop being an idiot, please. For the sake of fucking everyone, you are not the company you used to be, and you need to pull your fucking head out of your ass and do it now. Now, before the NX launches. Even if you have to delay the NX to make it better, to make it a competitor, do it. Please, for fuck's sake, do it. Really, that's if you need to delay it, like a year, fucking fine. I can live with that, as long as it's a true competitor to the other systems, which it needs to be in order to succeed in the modern gaming industry. And this is something that you are very soon going to learn if you fail. Now, I mentioned the whole time gap thing earlier as well. That's gonna be a big fucking problem, especially, but this kind of works to their advantage if they release the console next year, which hopefully won't be shit, as I've mentioned just now. The one advantage to the PS4 Neo, or whatever the fuck it's gonna be, and Project Scorpio coming out when they do, is that that'll be around the same time when NX releases. So you kind of have that, but that could work well, and that could work terribly. I'm looking at terribly, specifically because I can pretty much guarantee you the NX is going to be underpowered, and it's going to be pretty gimmicky, and it's going to sell on a gimmick much like how the Wii did, and somewhat the Wii U. So, yeah, the time gap is going to be a problem, and it could help, depending on what the NX is, which we, again, still don't know, and I cannot emphasize that well enough. Reggie might just be saying, oh yeah, we bank on, Reggie might be banking on the fucking fact that it's, it's not about power, maybe as damage control to hide the fact to the competitors that, I know this sounds very conspiracy theorist, but listen to me here, give me a shot. He might be trying to hide the fact that the console is massively overpowered so that he doesn't give his competitors any ideas, or so that Kamishima, because obviously he's the one overseeing it, doesn't give anyone any ideas. That might be what's going on. It might be a little damage control. It might be a way to hide the fact that NX is actually really massively fucking powerful, and that's most likely not the case, but it could be. It could very well be a tactic set forth by Nintendo to hide the fact that NX could be absolutely revolutionary. But they don't want their competitors knowing that. So, who knows? That might be the case, and if it is, rock the fuck on, because that's actually pretty sick. So that's my take on Nintendo's whole approach to this next generation of their consoles. What do you think specifically of this, weird fucking business tactic? Remember to put that down in the comments below, because I genuinely like to actually hear fucking comments, because it's usually blank down there, because I have no subscribers. So yes, but yeah, remember to comment down below, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.
When you will play with my heart.